time constraints increase focus. Parkinson's law says that a task will expand to fill the time that you give it. So if you set yourself a timer, and even better if it's a visual timer, if it's on your desktop or if it's on your phone and it's counting down, you will really feel that sense of time scarcity, and that will get you going. Hello and welcome to Habit Nerd, a podcast show that knows that few things can have a more powerful impact on your life than improving your daily systems, habits, and mindset. I'm your host, Dr. Bree Hearn, a multi-passionate researcher, lecturer, speaker, and coach. Once a perfectionist who was always busy but not necessarily effective, I overcame illness and burnout and am now obsessed with sharing the science and systems for working with efficiency and habits for abundant health in your mind and your body. Each week, my guests and I share stories and lessons backed by research. So let's buckle up and dive straight into today's empowering conversation. Hi there, Habit Nerds. Welcome to today's episode, and thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. I'm going to start things a little bit differently to what I normally would, because I am going to play you a clip and then I'm going to talk to you about what we hear on that clip. Now, the clip is from my all-time favorite podcast, Mamma Mia Out Loud. It is a podcast hosted by Mia Friedman, Holly Wainwright, and Jessie Stevens. It's my all-time favorite, but it is hundreds of thousands of people's all-time favorite. It would be the most popular podcast in Australia, certainly for women listeners, and it is by Mamma Mia and their podcast network, or their podcast empire, I should say. Now, on this particular clip, you will hear Mia, who is one of the hosts, talking about something that she's been struggling with. What she's been struggling with is being able to keep to deadlines when they are self-imposed projects. So she is a creative, and she's talking about how tricky it is to get started on a project when the only person making you accountable is yourself. So I'm going to play that very quick clip, and then I'm going to dive into the podcast episode with some tips around overcoming this procrastination for creative projects or for projects at work that we all struggle with.
My worst is that I have been struggling with deadlines. Someone said something about me just offhandedly in a jokey way a few weeks ago that really hit, because it's something that I've been feeling kind of insecure about. They said something about making announcements and not following through, not executing on things. And I know that's something I do, and I hate it about myself. And the reason that I'm very suited to digital media, and before that magazines, is because there were externally imposed deadlines. Like in magazines, the magazine has to get on the stands whether you're ready or not. So I liked that. When I'm in charge of my own time, I find that much, much more challenging. And because there's this project I've been bloody talking about for so long, and there's other things that I want to do, there's no deadline for them. And you know, when you just don't do something for a really long time, it just, all the energy drains out of it. And then suddenly you look at it and you go, oh, I don't really even want to do you anymore. I missed the window to jump through when I was feeling really motivated. So I've been struggling with that for a while. But my best is that I have jumped through that window and made myself accountable and moved forward with a whole lot of things that I wanted to do. And just getting them out of my head, that feeling of I should. That's why I stopped writing books, because it's like, I should do that, I should. And then every minute that you're not working, you feel guilty.
Tell me how you did it.
So, Habit Nerds, what you just heard from Mia is something that I certainly struggle with, and I know lots of people that I work with and that are a part of my life struggle with as well. It reminds me of this quote from the philosopher William James, and he said, "Nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an uncompleted task." So, given that, I have got 10 very quick, very easy ways to start taking action, to start overcoming and defeating that procrastination that really does drag us down. It drags our self-esteem down, it drags our energy down. And as Mia said, it really does take the life out of a project that is hanging over our heads, as much as we know that we do either need to or want to get it done. So the first one is to break things up. Now, this works because if you're feeling overwhelmed, this can trigger procrastination. How you apply it is that you divide these projects that you need to worry about, or even divide one project into small, manageable, actionable tasks and focus on completing just one. So once you've broken the task into maybe 10 smaller tasks, then you just focus on one. So my first tip is to break things up. My second tip is to employ the 2-minute rule. Now, why this works is that having too many tasks makes it harder to start on any of them. Whereas if a task will take you less than 2 minutes to do, then do it immediately because it will knock it off your list. So sometimes there are lots and lots of tasks, but some of them would be super small if you just knocked it over. So make the decision if it's going to take 2 minutes or less, do it now. Are you smart, capable, and secretly exhausted? You are not alone. If you're a woman who's done everything right but still feels like you're running on empty, it's time to stop surviving and to start choosing. I'm Bree, the Habit Nerd. I coach women who are done with hustle culture and don't need another planner. They need a better way to work and to live. As an academic at Australia's #1 university, I bring trusted, research-backed tools to your real everyday challenges. As a busy mum myself, my 4-part coaching system matches proven science to your point of need, so you can create habits that last and invest your time and energy where it matters most. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing what is right for you. I will help you feel proud of how you show up at work and at home, for yourself and for the people that you love. If you're ready to feel focused, fulfilled, and in control without burning out, let's talk. Head over to the Habit Nerd on Instagram, where you'll find my calendar. Book a meeting and let's get a conversation started. My third tip is to get very clear. Now, Habit Nerds, ambiguity often leads to inaction because we actually don't know what to do. We're not lazy, we're just lost. To help with ambiguity, write down exactly what you need to do in as minute and as specific detail as you possibly can, and by when, because that will help you get over that barrier that is simply ambiguity or lack of understanding of where to start and what to actually do. Now, my number 4 tip is to use a timer. I do this all the time. Time constraints increase focus. Parkinson's law says that a task will expand to fill the time that you give it. So if you set yourself a timer, and even better if it's a visual timer, if it's on your desktop or if it's on your phone and it's counting down, you will really feel that sense of time scarcity, and that will get you going. Try even the Pomodoro method, which is 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute break, to do interval sprints of your work. But as I said, make sure that you are watching that time countdown. It really does keep you focused and on task. Now, number 5 is a bit of a strange one, and it is called Eat Your Frog. It is a very strange sounding but very effective overcoming procrastination technique. Basically, avoiding a priority task leads to avoiding almost every task. So to eat your frog, it means to start your day with the most challenging or the most important item and build momentum early. So if you can be proud of yourself for doing the most important thing, or the frog, or the thing that scares you the most first, it will give you a huge boost of energy and of self-efficacy to keep working on the next thing. So that momentum that you gain from eating the frog is really, really important. Now, my number 6 tip, Habit Nerds, is one I've spoken to a few different times, and it is about removing distractions. Multitasking is a myth. Interruptions will kill momentum and kill your focus. So if you are trying to overcome procrastination, try and focus on only one thing at a time. Get your phone out of the room, put it in a drawer in the kitchen, or in a drawer in your office where you can't see it. Put away anything that might distract you. Close other tabs on your computer. Close anything that will cause a notification. This way, you can be fully focused, and removing the distraction really does give your focus a boost and helps you remove the risk of procrastination. Now, another one is to use rewards. Rewards work because positive incentives are really strong motivators. If you want to watch a video or you want to have a snack or you want to call a friend, tell yourself you can do it after 30 minutes of work, because that reward will really keep you focused and it will really help you feel like when you get to that stage, the reward is deserved and it will give you a positive association with hard work, and you'll be more likely to engage in another 30 minutes to be able to achieve that reward. Another tip is to just start with 5 minutes. Starting Habit Nerds is often the hardest part of all. So if you can just start, you have got a much better chance of gaining momentum. So if you tell yourself, I'm only going to do 5 minutes, then you can trick yourself by committing to work by just 5 minutes, because guess what? More than likely, once that 5 minutes is up, you will keep going. I have 2 more tips, Habit Nerds. Second last tip is to set interim deadlines. Now this works because deadlines provide structure and urgency, but one big deadline that's really far away isn't particularly helpful. This is often my problem. It is really helpful to create your own deadlines for each step in the project. So like my first tip was to break things up, interim deadlines throughout now and when you have to hand a big project in really do keep you focused and it feels more achievable. So set interim deadlines. And the last one, and this is the one that Mia used in the podcast episode when she talked about her solution, is to find an accountability partner. Accountability to another person increases your level of commitment. Therefore, you should share your goals with a friend or a colleague and keep yourself accountable to them. So report to them on your progress at the end of every week, at the end of every day. Whatever it is that you decide will help keep you accountable, because once you announce it to somebody and you ask them to help you keep on track, you will have a much better chance of achieving that. So I want to credit, first of all, Mamma Mia Out Loud for the use of the clip at the start of this episode, and my 10 tips for defeating procrastination. Even though they're research informed and I've read them in lots of different contexts, today they've come from Thoughtful Soul. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of that very brief episode about defeating procrastination, 10 ways to start taking action. Contact me over at The Habit Nerd, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. Thank you for tuning into this episode of The Habit Nerd. I hope you found some new inspiration, learned something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you did enjoy the episode, I would be really grateful if you could please leave a 5-star review, as it helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it should only take you 5 seconds. If you're keen for more tips and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow Habit Nerd.